for
and
the podcast.
crack. I could use this beer.
I'm having coffee.
This beer's getting. I have coffee too, by the way. But
Look at my mug. It was like covered in like lipstick and like stains. But go ahead and crack your beer.
Here we go.
Show my mug.
3, 2, 1.
My mug says football season.
Oh, it's a prop to start the old pod.
It is a prop.
No punts allowed. Adam and Paige. Buddy, I can't wait to talk about the 8 people. I can't wait.
I have saved every thought that I have on this, by the way, for this podcast. I have written and deleted tweets multiple times because I'm like, not worth it.
Correct.
And I did text you because I was like, this is not real life. And then we did discuss it today with our producers as well at VR, which we'll probably address some of this on the 8 People show when we do it. Not the like mess up and everything, but we will discuss that. So yes, we will get to that. We will do some week 3 predictions. First and foremost, our plug to subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube is the best form of watching this podcast. I will say that. I know
I've been told the YouTube viewers are pouring in. Like, it's the hottest place to get no punts allowed, according to our social media analytics head.
Yes.
AKA
analytics expert, me. To please go check out our YouTube, follow on YouTube, watch on YouTube, all the things, share with your friends. We're getting a little better about adding our videos from BR as well on there. So if you miss them, you don't have to search on BR. They will be on our page for you to find. But yeah, so please do that. And then let's chat week 2 results, though. A few games that were pretty telling. Some upsets, of course, but the big marquee one was Michigan and Oklahoma. I don't have a particular, like, hey, one of these teams is going to be excellent. However, I will say John Mateer is as advertised, and if they didn't have that tough of a schedule, I very much would be talking about Oklahoma in the SEC.
So I have a funny story. We wrote about this game, you and I think the struggles to find the right story was symbolic of the game. 24-13. Mateer played great. I thought good. No, great is good. It wasn't perfect, but I thought, like, really flashed. It's funny looking at Bryce Underwood's numbers, which is 9 of 24 for 142 yards. That's the best 9 of 24 game I've ever seen.
Right?
I want all the Bryce Underwood stock.
That's like the Michigan way, though. Shout out Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
I want all of the stock. The tier is good. That team is good. And if the defense is legit, like what we did end up writing, which is funny because you made this point, and I think it's a good one. If it wasn't for this goddamn schedule, I think we'd be viewing them a little differently, which really
we would be like,
fair.
Oh my God, Oklahoma's it. But I think what you wrote about was that Oklahoma does have the pieces, which is true. They very much have the pieces. They just didn't get the draw of the schedule to make it college football playoff worthy, in my opinion. I think they might. If they do, it will be one of the most impressive paths to the college football playoff. And the SEC is just like pure chaos right now. So that's why it's...
Well, it's funny. Like, if you're a team like Texas or anybody, Auburn in a couple of weeks, which actually feels like an awesome, really fun game. You're not happy with this. You're like, fuck, Mateer and Venables, and they've got some good skill talent, and Jay Nod hasn't even done anything yet. Like, they're like, well, this isn't good. And that's how I view it. It's not necessarily like, yes, their schedule sucks, but the other team's schedules now, I think, are a lot harder because we've seen Mateer. And as long as he doesn't do like an avalanche of dumb stuff, which I worry about because he is fun and reckless and chaotic. And as long as he can keep it on the rails, he's a matchup nightmare. There's no harder guard quarterback wise, I think, right now in the nation than that guy.
Well, and it'll eventually be Lenore Sellers when he starts cutting up SEC defenses. But
I actually don't disagree with that.
But I will say, I do think it was funny. I was seeing a lot of, we will get to AP poll things, but a lot of people were talking about how the SEC, I think they have 11 teams in the top 25 right now, which is all based on logo. And I think Oklahoma was a team before Brent Venables got there that people, feared having to play. Obviously, that shifted a little bit after a not so great start to his tenure there. And to your point, I think a lot of teams in the SEC were like, okay, we know what we're getting with Brent Venables is Oklahoma. Now this is different. I also want to give him credit for something because I think, and I know that he learned this from Dabo, is that you have to have the best around you. Like, he obviously was a defensive guy, and figuring out how to make Oklahoma an exciting offense and going and getting an offensive coordinator who was like, hey, by the way, I got a quarterback who will come with me is such a big win in college football. And I think a lot of times we don't give guys enough credit for, like, a guy like Dabo has surrounded himself with successful coordinators, and that's what's made him great. And his team's great. Not to say that he's not a good coach himself, but I'm just saying that does help you become a great coach. I mean, Nick Saban's the greatest coach there ever was in college football. He also did the same thing. So I think being able to find that and not, one, to be able to keep your job in the meantime while finding that, but also creating that culture and sort of, not wanting it to be, hey, we're just a good defensive team. We're going to have an explosive offense as well.
Yes, like there's also like the contract extension. Like, they've shown a lot of faith. It's a really interesting situation. Like, and I think, by the way, in conclusion, go get a quarterback. Like, that makes your life so much better if you have one.
Yes.
You mentioned Dabo. Let's talk about our friend Dabo. Clemson beats Troy 27-16. It was bad. Like, the score was bad. Clemson averaged less than 4 yards per carry. Bad. They've got injuries, admittedly, that are not helping. And I don't think Troy is that bad, by the way. So I had a lot of Clemson people in my mentions saying, like, what if Clemson isn't that? Or what about Troy being good? Why don't you talk about that? And I was like, okay, sure, Troy isn't bad. But this is Clemson, and you can't be doing this shit.
Yeah.
And so what is your level of concern here?
So I saw Dabo said today that a lot of guys on his team probably looked too much into and bought into the hype of their team coming into the season. I think that's a big way to call out your team and be like, hey, you're going to get smacked in the mouth. That's why we did some predictions earlier today for BR, and both of us were like, maybe a healthy Georgia. I don't know what is happening. A healthy Georgia Tech would get this upset, but I think Clemson I think they might like smack them. I thought it would be a close game, and now thinking about it, like, Dabo, I've mentioned it before, he is an incredible motivator, and this is, if they don't come out and punch them in the mouth in this game, then it will be like, hey, Clemson's one, schedule-wise, a loss would be like, hey, you're probably not making the college football playoff. Like, you're just not.
Well, so let's talk about that, because I was looking at that after our video today. So they play at Georgia Tech, and then things settle up a little bit. You play Syracuse at home, you play at North Carolina, you play at Boston College, you play SMU at home. I don't think SMU is the same team as last year. You play Duke at home, who turned the ball over 48 fucking times last week. Those motherfuckers. Then you play Florida State at home, and then you play at Louisville. Those last three of the last four, Florida State, at Louisville, and then at South Carolina to end.
Yeah, I was going to say the South Carolina.
But you've got win this game, and yes, you have two road games, and Boston College always does weird shit. But you got a window here to get right. But you gotta find a way. My level of concern, by the way, is very high. Very high.
The thing, though, with the college football playoff is, like, we could say these things and put together the hypotheticals. My concern is how hot Florida State and how good Miami actually is. I don't know how good Florida State is just yet. We talked about this on the AP poll. I think we might have overreacted to their win over Alabama.
I don't know, though.
I think they're a college football playoff contender for sure. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying, if we find out that Florida State is as good as we think they are, and Miami we know is as good as any team in the country, really,
yes.
then you're at large is going to be at best. The way the ACC is going to shake out and who makes the championship game. I mean, if they lost this game, I would be concerned that they're not going to make the ACC championship game, and they could run the table, beat a good South Carolina team at the end of it, get not large bid, yada yada yada. But there's other teams that are going to have a say. I think the SEC is going to be interesting. They're just not in control of their own destiny at that point.
This line is down to 3. I mean, it was 5.5. Georgia Tech's only a 3-point dog.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Did they announce that Haynes King is playing?
Yes, because yes. Well, he's going to play. He's probably going to be held together with duct tape, but that's pretty much his standard operating procedure.
Yeah, right.
There's been a lot of really interesting line movement, by the way, this week that I've noticed. Like, that's one where the games come crashing down. Georgia is another one. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I'll do a humble brag on my locks last week. Don't worry, that's coming. Yeah, there's some really interesting movement. So that the level of concern is high. Now, the next couple of things we're going to talk about happen to be, like danger. And so Florida loses. And so in back-to-back weeks, Kalen DeBoer is thrilled that Florida lost because now he's just pulling up to his bench, patting the seat and said, Billy, come on back. You've sat here before. So I want to ask you, who is more likely to have a job at this point next year, Kalen DeBoer or Billy Napier?
Kalen DeBoer.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And shout out to the lady that said if she won the Mega Millions or whatever, that she would pay his buyout. That was probably one of the funnier clips I've seen in a while. I love Alabama.
Yes, they are one of a kind. True.
Yes. I think the writing's on the wall for Billy Napier. We literally just had this conversation last season. Like it's literally like deja vu. I don't think even if I think the only way that he survives is if they make the college football playoff. They win the rest of their schedule. They become this unstoppable team, and they make the college football. That's the only way he keeps his job. I don't think after
their schedule fucking sucks. By the way, again, like it.
I'm wondering what it is. Who does the SEC want to come coach at Florida?
Just go to South Florida. Like you could just drive up up or down the road, whatever the fuck way it is.
You want Alex Golish? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like
that would be. I mean, great guy.
Not big enough name. I mean, this is, but hold on this. This, Florida and other schools have gotten lucky because like Miami and Florida State have kind of been trash. Like Florida State had the 1 year, but like, yeah, you don't mind playing Florida State. This year, playing Miami, this schedule, let's go through the rest of their schedule. You want to do the win-loss game? We haven't done that this year. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I will put you on the spot. So playing at LSU. I know your answer already because we did a video earlier.
Yes,
it's a loss. But a close loss. I think this is, at Miami.
Loss.
Texas.
Loss. Is it at Texas or versus Texas?
It's home versus Texas. All right. So we are 4 losses through week 5.
That's 3 plus the
South Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
At Texas A&M. That's a loss for me.
Hey, yeah. I mean, maybe I'll give them a win there.
Mississippi State at home.
Win.
Yeah, but even that doesn't feel great. That team, good. Klanga. Georgia, neutral site.
Yeah, no, sorry. You're losing to Georgia.
At Kentucky. Miserable. You're in hell and you go to Lexington. And sure, they'll win. That's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
At Ole Miss.
Who are they going to get, though? Like, I just want to know.
Tennessee and Florida State. They play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 8 ranked teams on their schedule right now. And you can argue through 2 weeks that Mississippi State has an argument to be ranked.
Yeah.
So there are 0 gimmies here. Long Island was it. All right.
Yeah.
LSU, Miami, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. Gone.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm sorry. bar. And they did great. Like we said this last year, and admittedly, he did awesome. Like they did a great job.
That it's not
I don't
there.
see
It's
it.
not a 2-year deal. And which makes me sad because here's the thing. I mean, you can't lose to South Florida the way you lost.
That's
them.
the problem.
Also, the discipline, like that's on the coach. That's on you. I'm sorry. That is on you as a coach. I know these are kids, but like I say that
it has to work that way.
They do it as adults too, apparently. Stop spitting. By the way, stop spitting on people. Like, can we just take a moment? Stop spitting on people.
It's a great
it's
public
so
service
weird.
announcement.
Stop.
I don't understand, right? Like, what happened to throwing a punch at somebody's helmet? What happened to those
right,
days?
And being dumb and like basically breaking your hand. Yeah.
What happened to the good old days of doing that dumb shit? Like, come on. Let's go back to breaking hands and punching helmets. Way better than spitting. All right. All right. One more, and then we're gonna. Actually, all of these topics are kind of not negative, but there's an edge to them, which is fine. So there was it was kind of a restless week. And you had some antsy fan bases for across the board. So performances that jumped out to me, and maybe we're missing one. If we are, obviously Clemson is in its own category of performance. Yeah. LSU, Georgia, and even Penn State. In fact, the most vocal of all of them, I think, were Penn State. Because I follow a lot of like just absolutely insane Penn State fans. I love them. They're an insane fan base.
Yes.
But the holy shit Drew Aller takes were flying hot and heavy against FIU. So what performance to you was the biggest concern?
Okay, so two things. I would say that probably I agree with Penn State fans that that's the most concerning. I think they're going to be totally fine.
Yes.
Georgia fans, I picked them to win this week. Spoiler. I convinced myself and somehow I ended up siding with Georgia, which is a rarity. So, take it in, Georgia fans. I'm also going to piss off a lot of Tennessee fans because I realized after we did our recording that I was saying that like teams that are coached by Kirby Smart that Heupel hasn't scored more than 17 points on them. And I said like the defense being called by him. And I just know the Tennessee fans are going to be like, that's not who's making the calls. It's like, okay. Thank you so much. I already know that that's going to be a Tennessee. It was the worst fan base to do it against and pick against while saying something that I didn't get the thought out, that I didn't get the thought out properly that I wanted to. So I just want to clarify that here on the podcast.
You were also a Georgia homer. That's part of it too.
Oh yeah, huge Georgia homer. You guys know that about me. Yes, Georgia I just love Georgia. I love the funniest part. I love everything about Georgia. I just love them. Anyway, Georgia's performance was concerning, but I have faith that they're going to be okay. LSU, same sort of deal. Like I think it was just kind of like a hangover a bit on that sense. And you can chalk that up to that. Penn State for me, I need them to not ruin this. Like you have such a good team. Drew Aller can be so good. Like I need them collectively. I'm like rooting for them. I need to be in the huddle and be like, guys, here we go. Okay. This is where you end the conversation for your coach and end the James Franklin talk about he can't win big games. This is where you stop being told your little brother to Michigan and Ohio State. This is where you show you can actually compete in the Big Ten and are not a joke and just this old school team that used to win games. Get it together. Like, please. Please.
You know what's funny? They won 34-0. They've outscored their opponents.
What was the halftime score, right? It was
78-11. Nevada and FIU. And FIU and Nevada are not horrible teams. The halftime score of this, let's get that, because it was 10-0.
Yeah, that's where it was like.
Drew Aller was 19 of 33. Do you know what Ty Simpson was this week against Louisiana Monroe? 17 of 17. Okay. I'm with you. Like the Aller thing in particular, I just can't shake. So you've got Kate Chernell and you've got Nicholas Singleton. They both were unbelievable. And you've got some weapons at wide receiver. It just feels like Penn State, like we're seeing some Allery things that we saw in the playoff. And you play Oregon in a couple of weeks, granted at home.
Yeah.
But then you play at Iowa. I don't want to talk about it. and then you play at Ohio State.
Yeah.
You play at Michigan State, who might have a pulse, by the way. The schedule isn't terrible, but I'm kind of with you. Like, this is what we saw last year, and you get last year's performance is not good enough for this team or James Franklin.
Yeah. I want it for them so bad. I really do, because I think that the other thing about Drew Allers, like, I don't know if you've seen those videos of, I think it was like his lineman or somebody else that maybe was like, have you ever been yelled at by Drew? Because he's like such a competitor. And I think I've brought this up so many times, like, initial first year Drew Aller, we didn't really see like leadership in him. Like, I didn't really see that fire. Next year I was like, oh my gosh, he like genuinely has that I'm a competitor. I'm gonna, like, it gives me, I hate to say this because please, I'm not comparing them as football players, okay? I am not comparing them as football players. It gave me like Josh Allen vibes, where like he's very vocal, like very like checking with everybody, making sure everybody understands. Like, that's the vibe that I give him in terms of leadership, not football. For the love of God, please don't take it as that. But I'm slightly worried that this might take a little bit. But on the flip side, like, there are teams that we were condemning last year this time that were not looking great. And I think they'll get it together as time goes on. I mean, they have really no choice.
To be clear, I think you could question LSU because Clemson might be trash, and you could question Georgia because we just don't know. Like, Georgia this is not the Georgia from a few years ago either. So that's all right.
The thing that we're going to get answers on the other two first. So that's why I think Penn State is so scary, because I'm not sure we're going to get like a solid answer on how good Penn State actually can be against good opponents for a little bit longer than the other two.
Yes, I agreed.
I
want to hit on this just quickly, and then we'll talk AP poll. I found it interesting. So the Big 12 pulled one of its crews basically off of a week 3 assignment. Yeah. You had the Missouri-Kansas game, and basically unsportsmanlike on a blocked extra point attempt. You had a slew. Actually, this game was kind of a mess of things. But they allowed a punt, which is against the rules, and the Big 12 took action. Like, look, I don't like this for the officiating crew either. It's like, to your point, like, this is not fun. These guys are trying. I can't imagine being a ref, by the way. Never be a kicker, never be a ref. But I do think that doing this, because these games are so important, I actually think that this is a good standard to set. Yeah. And that you're going to just say, like, this is not up to our standard. We have to do better. And I imagine you're going to see more of this, because Lord knows there's enough calls in a given weekend that they are not going to get right. For ignoring and not doing the right rule, that's the part that entered a level of like unacceptable in my eyes.
Well, yeah.
But wow, this is kind of interesting. You don't see this very often.
Well, and I imagine that teams also have a big stake in this stuff. Not that these things always change the momentum of the game or any of the like score or anything like that. Yeah. But it's important that that doesn't happen. Like, that's why these things have to happen, so that in the future, when it is a call that could potentially change a game or decide a game, that's not being screwed up in the future, because these games are so precious, especially to the Big 12. Like, when you are that conference specifically, you are trying to put your best foot forward and your best group forward to prop yourselves up to be in the college football playoff. And you need to make sure that everything is aligned and there's no excuse for any of these things.
Now, let's talk about the AP poll.
Deep breath.
So, this week, we had a voter who submitted a ballot that had Florida higher after a loss than the week prior. Correct? They lost, like...
Yes.
That same voter justified it, saying, I have my own way, essentially, right? Like, basically said, didn't own up to this as a mistake, said, I've got my own way of doing things. This is how I do it.
Yeah, a process. Also said just that, like, this is fun and it's not really that big of a deal.
So, okay, I'm not using your name because this stuff kind of, like, this is part of this conversation that I want to get into, because This is where this stuff gets weird. Now, all right, that is unacceptable.
Yes.
That's just not acceptable. Like, you cannot, for the sake of just whatever job you do, say that.
Yes.
If you said, God damn it, it was late, I was a long day, I was covering this game, huge upset, I fucked up, whatever, people are going to be like, okay, fine.
Yep.
This in itself, you lose credibility as a voter, you lose credibility, unfortunately, as a journalist, and the poll that you're involved with loses credibility as a whole.
Yes.
Right? Like, let's just start this off very, very light. So we are very close to the AP poll because we do a show about it every week. We know how popular this poll is because for some fucking reason, in the middle of NFL Sunday, tens of thousands of people are watching this show.
Yes.
So I have a personal connection to this show, this poll, that's probably unique, just like you do, where I feel stronger toward the topic than maybe most do. And
well, it's like, to say that it doesn't matter is, maybe it doesn't matter to her specifically, but it matters to a lot of people, especially college football fans.
Yes. Now, the floor is yours. Where do you want to go with this? Because I got myself in fucking trouble on Twitter.
You did?
We do a top 25 poll every week for Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
And
I did see this, but explain it to the people.
So we do a top 25 poll. It's after a long day. This is interesting. You and I were talking, like, my pacing for last week was totally off. And I was exhausted by the end of it. I had a situation pop up Friday night where my Friday night was fucked up, where so I was not coming into it with a clear head. Everything's fine. I do these polls sometimes, and I'm very concerned because I'm not operating at my finest.
Yes.
And that's okay. So in this tweet, that's basically all I said. It's like, yeah, it's tough to do, long day. Next day I look at what I did and I'm mad. And the number of fucking people were like, oh, that's a tough job, fuckhead, dipshit. Like, I'm like, well, the point I was making, first off, not an AP poll voter, very clear, is that I don't make the best decisions after a long day. Like, I was trying to make, like, an innocuous point of just like, man, after a full day of football, I do dumb shit and I hate myself for it. People were fired up about this in a way I didn't expect.
Here's something that I will say. You were saying that in order to be like, hey, sometimes people fuck up. And the idea was that you would own it if that were the case. So the next day, if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh, you know what? This probably wasn't my best vote or whatever. If someone came to you and said, Adam, why did you put, Florida up 2 spots after they lost? You would be like, oh, wow, I didn't mean to do that. It was just a long day. Yes. Okay.
I have fucked up in our top 25 and I don't like doing it.
I have 2 feelings about this because on one hand, I think she should have just said, I messed up. I was covering a game on site and was not watching other games and didn't realize that, it was a long day. Like you said, whatever. She should have just said that. However, sidebar to this, for the crowd that was saying, why didn't she just own up to this? How come she didn't just say, oh, she messed up? I can empathize with her because that also would not have been received well. And I know there are men that want to think that they would have been receptive to that, but they wouldn't have. I think it's easier for a man in this industry to say, hey, I messed up, you're right, I'm an idiot, oopsie daisies, okay? It's not as easy for a woman. And if that upsets you, then you're probably part of the problem. Not you specifically, but I mean like men in general. Sorry, Adam, he's having a cough.
I had to mute because I was laughing. I was like, oh God, man on the podcast.
The best is that is the most no puns allowed thing where we're having such a serious topic conversation and we cannot keep together.
Well, you're
anyway,
like, and
it
these
is a very
fucking
serious
men,
thing.
and I'm like,
I will say,
I'm gonna cough.
if you want, I think sometimes people think that women in sports are making it up, that like men are incredibly mean to them on the internet. You and I do the AP poll show every week. You see what people say to both of us, but also some of the things that people say to me are so horrible, and I have to watch them come across the screen as I am doing this and doing my job. So I chose to do this job, so I accept that. I know that that's part of this.
Yeah.
The comments on a lot of the things that I do, if a guy said the same thing, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Okay. That's just the nature of it. But that's also something I accept and I take in. I'm not saying like, oh, woes women that work in sports. I'm under the impression that, or I'm resolved to the fact that this is a norm for me. But it doesn't mean that it's just easy and like super easy to just be like, oh, someone said that they hope your OnlyFans career is better than this one on a live show, and you can just let that go while you're live. Okay. It's not easy to just, your brain obviously is going to be like, wow, that's really messed up. And I still have to focus on talking about like defensive coverages, you know what I mean? And like not say the wrong thing. Cause if I say the wrong thing, someone's immediately going to point that out. So I think that there was just something about the fact that bothered me, that so many men that work in sports media used this example to try and prop themselves up for whether it's campaigning for themselves to be the college football commissioner or just giving their commentary and being like, why didn't you just admit you messed up? Well, as a woman, or as a man, you don't have the same experience as a woman in sports who has to admit that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that and women should not be, saying that they're wrong, but it's just a little bit different. And I'm sure now she regrets not saying that. If this were me, I have learned the best way to do it is be like, yeah, hand up. I mean, I made fun of myself for my week 1 picks. Well, I was 1-4, you guys. Like, you're not going to get it right all the time. And I think that's the part that's just like,
I think it's a non-story if she does that too, unfortunately. Like, I think it's a lesser story.
Yes, I think it's a lesser story for sure, because a lot of AP poll voters, were just upset with what she was saying. But I think, in not admitting it, or just saying that she was wrong. But I do think it still would have been a story, and people still would have bullied her off the internet and having her make her account private. That would still happen.
So let's be honest about what the AP poll is. When did everybody start like, oh, you dare fuck with my AP poll? How dare you? With something as sacred as, like, who are you, these people kidding? The AP poll is for content. Okay? The AP poll is for content. It is for views. It is for debate.
It's for you to have rankings until the college football playoff rankings come out.
That's what it does.
Oh.
And yes, does it have influence? It does. But you have so many votes coming in that, do you think this is the only shitty opinion in the AP poll vote?
Exactly. That's the thing. Go through it. There's quite a few. And also, spend the time propping up the people that got their ballots right. Like, I go through and find the ones that you like.
I will say it's a matter of interpretation. I think, especially at this point in the year. Now, admittedly, this ballot was bad. This was dumb. Yes. This was a mistake. Fine.
Can I just say this as well? Because I'm so sorry. I have to get this off my chest. If you truly believe that the AP poll influences the college football playoff committee, I think you're crazy. I don't think it has any impact on any of that. We've seen it every year. And I think that's only because we've analyzed it so closely. I don't think that the college football playoff committee is like, oh, well, this person was ranked over this person in the AP poll, so we got to be careful not to do that. I don't think that's real. That's why they don't start their rankings until we have 6 weeks of football, 7 weeks of football?
Yes.
Completed. They're not going based off that. So to have this thing of like, oh, let's lump in the college football playoff committee to this. Sure. Do I think the college football playoff committee is made up of the right people to make these decisions? Absolutely not. Do I think these people are like, oh, we have to be so careful with the precious AP poll when we make ours? No, that's why it's different. And also, if you say that the coaches poll would be a better thing, you obviously don't know that the coaches don't actually vote in their own ballots. They're sending their own ballots. Just a heads up.
Have you seen who votes for the Heisman? Like, we don't want to open this. You have 800 people that vote for the fucking Heisman who turn in their ballots before the award.
We should have done a what is it called? now I'm blanking on a vetting of Heisman voters when they didn't vote Christian McCaffrey. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but like that's, but
But
yes.
really though, you can vet this system. Here's the other thing. What's funny is I feel like we sort of like put this out there, and now the AP poll is a supportive conversation. We talked so much about how preseason AP poll is so annoying because I wish that we would just wipe the slate. You guys, it is off the rails. We are so tired and so done of talking and so worked. I'm so
why
worked
are
up
the
over
W's?
This.
We always
That's
rivalry, always the rivalry. Yeah,
we should wipe the slate clean every week and just base it off that, because if we did that, we wouldn't have to worry about keeping someone number one, even though their schedule isn't that tough in the beginning of the year. We're gonna move them anyway. You might as well just do it now.
I have seen the opinions of people that are criticizing this AP poll, and they've had very bad opinions. Okay, I also have had bad opinions. You're going to have bad opinions. This person, she should not vote for the AP poll anymore. I don't even mean that.
Writers shouldn't be doing it. I'm sorry, they should not be doing it. That we know.
And I get it. When I tried to say this in Twitter, like, hey, people are not voting clear. I actually think waiting until Monday is a good idea, to be honest. Give people till noon on Sunday so they can wake up with clarity and do it. Like, that's part of the problem, in my opinion. I get why they do it for content. But if you actually want to make this more accurate, give people who are largely covering games and traveling a little bit more time. Yeah. You're gonna help them do it. And then if you see a poll that's fucked up, just get them out. Like, that's fine. But let's stop pretending like we really give that many fucks about the AP poll.
Yeah, like this is like a perfected system, and it's a very holy system.
That's what pissed me off. We are the ones who should care. Frankly, I want more stupid votes because that's great for content. I want bad voting. Bad voting is good for our business. If you want to know a selfish take, I'm going full Inception here. I want shit votes.
Also, it cracks me up that people would be like, and these are a very specific group of people, the people that are on television that are broadcasters and all of those things, that are saying like, oh, you should take your job seriously and you should be doing your job and all of these things. She's a beat writer and doesn't have a research intern that is making sure they have all the stats they need to make the points they need to make. There's so many other things that are a part of this that I think as a crew, and we've talked openly on this podcast about how sometimes the business in college football, the media side of it, is a little hard to deal with sometimes because it's just kind of...
Also, leave her alone. Like,
yes.
All that being said,
she doesn't deserve to be harassed and kicked off the internet over this. Yes, idiot. She deserves to have her vote taken away in her ballot, but
gracefully.
Just
don't be a weirdo, okay? Just leave her alone. Like, this can't be. It's like the crew. This is different, but this is more personal. This is like, this has got to feel terrible. Like, this is not a fun week. I got yelled at on Twitter all day yesterday, and I was like, fuck it, finally, I'm muting this. For a take that I thought was not that bad.
Yes.
Just leave her alone. All right, let's talk football games. Now, again, I have a lot. I think I have pretty much every big game is in my locks. We want to just move to that.
Yeah, we can discuss the games.
Other than the one I'm really struggling with, Clemson and Georgia Tech. I picked Clemson as well. I don't have a bet on this game. I don't know what this game has made me really think about football and Clemson and everything else. I will have one point to say. I know people want to try to hang on to their preseason opinions. Whatever you do, I picked this team to do this team to do that. Let go of those as soon as you can. Don't hang on to a sinking ship.
Admit when you're wrong. It's okay. It's a safe space. Let's make it a safe space. Let's start here and make it a safe space for men and women and whoever else, dogs, to make mistakes and mess up and have bad takes. Because again, you're not going to get it all right. Although you may think you could do this job and be all right all the time, it's not true. And I'm not actually talking to our listeners, because our listeners would never.
No.
They listen to this show. They know that you can be wrong, and we like to have fun, and this is fun.
Let's
not take the fun out of it. Let's not be so serious. Like you said, clutching your pearls about this stuff.
Now, on the other hand, you can also be very right And last week, I was right as shit. Okay? Last week, I was right as fuck. And if you watched and you listened and you read, you made a lot of money last week. Right?
I'm also just laughing because your head is getting cut off in your camera.
Oh, shit. You could have said something 40 goddamn minutes ago. It's because I have to shift it for this fucking video we do every week. I got like 9 different videos I have to record for 9 different people that want my head in 9 different spots.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rain on your parade of being right, but I just it's my lot in life to humble you.
How is it getting cut off? Am I going that high?
Honestly, this podcast is off. This is our first real. It only took 3 weeks for us to really just get back to our normal selves.
And this is the problem, though. I adjust the camera here, and then when we go to do our opinions, they're like, "Hey, Adam."
No, actually, it was me this week.
The score bug is on your face.
We will get to predictions, I promise you.
All right.
Today I logged in and Adam, there's a question mark in front of us because it puts up our prediction and it's literally at the center of Adam's face. It was so funny. It's like, Adam, you're going to have to move up before our producer can even get in our ears.
Can you?
I'm like, hey, Adam, move.
You are off by a lot. All right. But back to me being right all the time. Not about camera height, but last week, locks of the week were 7-1-1 online.
Yes.
You don't get the full locks experience on the pod. You get a lot. We give you not more than you deserve. That was going to sound terrible. You get plenty, but if you want extras, you have to go to Bleacher Report and check those out. That's the additional locks. Not only was I 7-1-1, but the one push was Iowa +3. I was so pissed off that I take the lines when they are. When it's time to submit, and I submit early so it can be edited. Those are what the lines are. Yep. So should have been 8, could have been 8-1. The one loss was Duke, which was horrific.
Sorry
I'm so fucking mad at them.
I also will say props to you about the Mississippi State, Arizona State.
Thank you.
You definitely called that, even though that was a atrocious way to end a football game.
I was so mad at that game too for a while. Yeah, this was not. We finished well. SMU Baylor was crazy.
It was probably a stressful Saturday.
It was. We had a lot. Okay. I know. When you have a week like that, you have to have so much shit go right. Let's be clear. So, I don't love this card, but I do like a lot of teams in big games. I like Tennessee +4 versus Georgia. Now, this is interesting because I don't remember what score you had. Because I know you like Georgia to win, but I think you think this is going to be a close game as well.
Yeah, I had 24-20 Georgia.
So you're right on the number. This is probably ride, die, or pass, right? You're probably passing on this game. I'm
going to pass. I for some reason, like I said earlier, I am riding with Georgia only because now when thinking about it and looking at how much Kirby and Josh Heupel have really battled defensively and offensively, I don't know. I think if it's going to come down to whose defense can really disrupt their quarterback more. And I know that, of course, Joey Aguilar at home, you're okay, that should happen. But I trust Georgia's defense to actually be the team to be disruptive if I had to pick one.
I like Gunnar Stockton. First ever road start. This is it. It's a big one.
This is honestly I wouldn't be surprised either way.
No,
probably... the second hardest. I think the next hardest would be Clemson.
That was the one I avoided. Now, all right. So yeah, I think Tennessee offensively looks good. Admittedly, they haven't played a ton. I still have questions about Georgia's defense. Tennessee +4. I think Tennessee can win outright. I do really like Notre Dame -6.5 against Texas A&M. I think this is a Texas. What are you laughing? Because I said it like I glitched.
No, I'm laughing because you put Duke in the
What did I?
It says Duke Notre Dame.
Oh, Jesus. What is... I'm still fucking pissed at them. I was worried about putting them on locks, they're on the website. I have enough people mad at me. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. I like Notre Dame -6.5 as long as they don't call 17 fucking wide receiver screens. I am going to throw my fucking self through the television, and I just don't do that. Stop babying your quarterbacks. Julian
Please,
Sayin
no, we're
completed
gonna.
15 straight passes last week.
I will. Do you have a Heisman ticket for Julian Sand?
No, I don't. I got on
You
late.
love him so
I
much.
do. He's my
You
guy.
do. Also, I wish we could get a clip of that. I do.
I know. He's my guy. I've liked him from the moment we watched him warm up at the national championship game. I was like,
did.
Dude, that's a dude. Like right there. And he might win the Heisman this year. What are his odds?
Okay.
Maybe we should do this on the pod.
So I also think Notre Dame will win this game. Yeah, I also think that this is just Notre Dame's chance to be in control of their own college football playoff situation.
Julian Saint's 22-1. I'm going to bet him.
Okay. The other thing that I'm about to do is also place a national championship bet for Oregon.
I thought about going to Oregon Northwestern this weekend. I have not been to their little stadium, their little lakefront stadium. It's an 11 a.m. game, so
you
getting home.
Credentialed.
I could probably, yes, but I wouldn't bring my kids, and I don't want to do that. I still, depending where things shake out, I may go for the first half, so I can get home by. That's probably all you need to see of that game. Is so I can get home for the 2:30 slate. But
okay, yes,
to be continued. All right,
you do have to write, so be on time. No,
I know that's the thing.
Miami, South Florida.
I really like Miami.
Let's go Miami. I think it'll be closer. I said the Florida game and South Florida game was going to be close. I didn't pick Florida or South Florida to win, but I was like, it'll be close. I think Miami's obviously better than Florida. I think we can say we feel both feel comfortable saying that. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Carson Beck in Miami in this one. I'm sad because I like
Are you riding with the? But
the
you
spread.
like
What's the spread?
17.5.
Oh, actually, no, that was the Wisconsin-Alabama game. I'm gonna die on this one. I will go with South Florida to cover. I regret it, but
I think Miami is.
You're gonna enjoy this murder ball.
Yeah. Carson Beck. I was wrong on Clemson. I was definitely wrong on Miami. I think they're going to be really good. Fun Friday night game. Houston and Colorado. As I was looking through the spreads this week, there wasn't a ton that jumped out to me. This one kind of did. I like Houston -4.5 versus Colorado. We don't know who's going to start at quarterback for Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Houston's a team that quietly, they bottomed out. Then they got Connor Wegman from Texas A&M, who up and down.
I think they had like over 50 transfer players. Don't quote me on that. They had a lot of transfers come in. I think 50 is too much.
Willie Fritz is also a great coach. This is an interesting team. I like the boldness of Vegas. You have a lot of Colorado kids going on the road for the first time. I like Houston -4.5.
Transfer portal. How many kids did they get? 30 transfers. Okay, so 50 was aggressive. 30 was what I was aiming for. I knew it was too much. I was like, wait a minute. But they do have a lot of transfers. So they definitely are trying to regroup really quickly. So what did you pick? Sorry.
I like Houston minus the points. I don't think Colorado's all that good. I really don't.
I think this is the best Colorado team that we've seen. So you know what? I will say
better than Travis Hunter and Shador.
Those were great players. I mean, like a complete team.
Oh, no way.
Their offensive line is far superior. Their defense is a lot better this year.
All right, pod bet. It's on. I don't know what
I will take that Colorado. I would guess that Houston wins by a field goal.
4.5. So you're covered.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Colorado to cover, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, that was one way to say it too. Yeah. All right. Florida +7.5 versus LSU. I'm taking Florida. This line has done some really weird shit. Florida I think it was 9.5, and then poof, it kind of disappeared yesterday, and 7.5. So somebody saw something. I don't think there's been any crazy injury news. I know LSU got banged up a little bit. LSU's going to win this game. I think we overreact in these spots. These are two works in progress. Florida can still play an ugly brand of ball. We talked about the defense on our show earlier today. I just think it feels like too many points. North of a touchdown here, I like. I think this will be under a touchdown by kickoff.
So do I. So I'll ride with you on that. So let's see. We've got...
And then the rest of the games, you have to go to Bleacher Report or the Bleacher Report app.
Yeah, to find out our
There's what I'm kind of doing this year, per your direction, is like I'm trying to profile more, like feature more high profile games. But then the other games on the card are like the sicko goddamn shit. So if you want an opinion on Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, then you need to go to the website.
That's what Locks is all about, really.
That there's some sicko like shit like otherwise. 7-1-1 last week. Right? I have never swept the card, by the way. In all the years of doing it, I've never swept it. I think I've had one loss, not often. That's really fucking hard to do. But a handful of times. It's like Wordle, right? You try and get Wordle on the first try. Have you ever done that? I've done it twice.
I have.
More than like a lot? Is this something?
I mean, I don't play enough to have done it multiple times, but I have done it once. I think the word was pizza, honestly.
Who starts with pizza? That's a bold move.
I know, with two Z's.
Two Z's.
I think there's somebody that like does like toast every time or something, because that's like but that again, that's two T's. So I don't know.
It's all right. I kind of like the move pizza. Do
you have a word that you start with every time?
Funny you asked that. So I have two. Audio is the one where it's like you get a lot of vowels in. So audio, you get the A-U-D, I-O. But for some reason, I usually play with the kids. And one time, or for a while, when we started playing, Cameron, who was younger, would be like, train. So we start with train.
Okay.
Out of solidarity.
I like that. Train
is like normal. We have a cat named Derby. They like to start with Derby. It's very popular in the Kramer house. So they're usually the first word, and then I gotta take over from there.
Yes.
I love that game. Perfect segue into random shit, which we've already started random shit. Anything significant from you?
No, I am in a wedding on Friday, so I will be out. I'm going to enjoy college football this weekend as a spectator.
Wedding.
I know. Full weddings.
We already ranted.
We don't need it. That one we're saving for my fall wedding week. We will get to that rant that week. Don't you worry.
That'll be a great one.
But yeah, no, I am in a wedding this week. I'm very excited. It's my best friend from college is getting married. So shout out Brenda.
Shout out to Brenda. Congratulations.
What
kind of what's the open bar situation?
It's open, so that's all that matters.
Well, it's the best answer ever.
It's
open. You know what?
Well, actually, that's not guaranteed at weddings. You never know. Sometimes there's cash bar, sometimes there's not.
Things are changing.
By the way, I will say, my wedding, open bar. Not everyone is invited. Kramer is invited, but not everybody's invited.
Yeah.
Open bar. That was a non-negotiable for pretty much everyone involved in the wedding, the planning of my wedding.
I agree, though. It feels, and I have the weddings are so fucking expensive. Do you? But it does feel like it's less expected now than it used to be. Because when I went through the wedding circuit, I'm so fucking old. We don't do weddings anymore. Other than yours, you're much younger than I am. I can't wait. I'm so old that it's been a minute. I'm trying to think of the last wedding I went to. I'm excited. Open bar. God damn. Love a good open bar. What is your go-to? Do you have a rhythm of what are you drinking first?
Yes. It all depends on if there's going to be wine served at the table. Because I cannot have wine. I am not I can switch things up. I got to stick with one thing now that I'm 30 plus. Okay. I'm sticking to one alcohol.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So if there's wine that's going to be at the table before we're able to go over to the bar, or they give us wine, I can do a glass of champagne before. That doesn't count. But usually I go for tequila, soda, lime. I try not to do a ton of sugar because I feel also you're not getting full drinks at weddings. I don't know why. I think that's a dumb thing that we have in our heads, that they're just shorting us. So I stick to the basics, but I will switch to a red wine if they're serving it with dinner, and that'll be that. I won't switch it back to that. But yeah, I don't want to give away some spoilers of my wedding, but we will certainly cover that the week of. Which happens to be our favorite week of the year for Thanksgiving episodes.
It is. You're talking about off the rails. This is nothing.
I'm going to be, oh wow. There's going to be lots of random shit. We might not even talk about football that week.
No, that'll be just a wedding primer. Fuck football. By that point too, we're so exhausted. No. Let's see. Random shit. Do I have anything else?
Hello. Your wife broke her finger.
Oh my God. So, yeah.
On Friday.
Disclaimer. Everything is fine.
She's okay.
My wife, in a gardening situation, cut her finger to the point of breaking a bone in her finger. Now, resident Nebraska fan, neighbor Jason, who gets a lot of references on this pod, go Nebraska, by the way, about to be 3-0. Shitty ass schedule, but 3-0. Shout out them. Is a physical therapist, and actually, like, if you were going to almost saw your finger off, you could not live to anyone better who can look at it and be like, you should go to the ER. This is what Jason does. So Jason has been helpful. My son Jack had an Alexa drop on his head and cut it. I don't know if we mentioned this in the pod. This may have been pre-pod. Like, I was at a lunch. He had called me and said, hey, Alexa just split open Jack's forehead. You probably should come home, right? So I see him calling me. And you ever have that where you just kind of know something's wrong? Like, your spidey senses. So this was a Friday at about 4:15. Now, I'm thinking in my head, there could be a beer, like, are we getting beers? But Jason is not much of a caller. He is a texter.
Yeah, okay.
So when I see this, it's
phone call. You're like, this is a real deal.
So thank you he took Caitlin. And the only thing that was like when the broken finger, right? Like that was the upset in all of this. She's fine, stitched up, first stitches, first broken bone. Good for her, by the way, because I'm a frequent flyer with all that bullshit. And my kids were all crying. Like, it was a scene, buddy. Friday, if you're wondering why Saturday wasn't my greatest, it's because Friday night was a fiasco. Could have been a lot worse. Thankful for a very good sports system, but holy shit. Yeah, that was the random shit of all random shit.
Yeah. Brutal.
I don't think I've quite recovered. Even Saturday, there's not been, tonight's going to be a night where I think I drink either a bottle of wine or like 4 to 6 beers.
Okay.
I need a night. I'm done with writing.
Well, we've made it. Yeah, I was just going to say, writing is done until Saturday.
There's no videos tomorrow. This is a good time. So
that's usually me every Thursday when it's not a week that I have to travel for a wedding. One of my friends calls it Paige Fridays. So every Thursday I'm like, yay, I did it. We're on Paige Friday because I get Fridays off, and that's my only day off during the week.
That is
it's
definitely
for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season.
No.
Yeah. So I fully endorse you having as many alcoholic beverages.
Tonight could be the night. Tonight. I will say I'm super pumped about this slate of games. Like, I will be covering, most likely, barring something weird, which is college football, Tennessee, Georgia. This there's like big football game vibes to that.
Yeah.
Big.
I feel like we're gonna get some answers on some stuff and be able to evaluate some of these top teams a little better.
Yes, and do not forget, check out our AP poll show on Sunday. Yes. It is going to be
nice comments. Come be like, hey, the No Punts Allowed podcast is the best podcast I've ever heard.
I think we're going to address the AP poll thing potentially.
We are a little bit.
Like danger zone. Like,
danger,
holy shit.
Will Robinson. Yeah. No. We will. It'll just be very PG. Not this version of us screaming and like me moving back and forth towards my camera and you cutting off your head.
I'm ashamed. All right, we're out of here. For Paige, I'm Adam. We will talk to you guys next week.